Everybody, today I'm going to be changing the headlight on the driver's side of my Lexus LS430. Now, I already did the passenger side. It's super easy. The driver's side seems to be what a lot of people have problems with. I did film the passenger side, kind of, and I used my GoPro. Didn't have a light or anything like that, or a stand, so I don't know how well it came out. But we're going to do the driver's side. Hopefully I finish today. You have to take the whole bumper off. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm gonna do is take the screws off from the bottom lip and then on the inner fender well. So let me show you these real quick. So there's screws right here. Mine are very rusty. I'm gonna take those off. Then right there, that attaches the bumper to the fender liner, and we're gonna go around the wheel well, and we're going to take these screws off. It's 1, 2, there's another one up there somewhere. There's another one back there, 3, and then you have these clamps. Mine are kind of already a little separated from, I don't know how when that happened. Obviously I just got the car, so I'm going to take that back, and we just need to peel that back. It's going to be 2 screws right here, back here, that go into this thing. They're going to be somewhere around here, and let's get started. All right, so all these bolts on the bottom and on the side are going to be 10 millimeter. For the bottom, I'm going to use this longer extension. So, whoops. So it's easier for me. You're going to definitely need something short and stubby for the wheel wells, unless you take the tire off. All right, so apparently I'm missing footage. What I'm doing right now is popping out the push pins inside of the bumper. Now, if you look on the ground by my left foot, there's another black piece. There's actually 2 of those, one bigger piece and one smaller piece. They cover up the bolts to the headlight. So if you look at the headlight, the bigger piece is going to be secured by 3 push pins that you have to unscrew with a Phillips. So you unscrew those. I only had one in them, and it was broken. But you unscrew those, you pull the big one off, and then the little one just is kind of snapped in place. So you just pop that out with your hand, and you're good to go. Now what I use to get that off is just some interior. I forgot what these are called exactly, but they put interior and little things like that. It's gentle on the paint and the interior trim of the car. Okay, come take a look at this. So if you look very closely, there is a nut right here. Anyway, okay, there we go. You can see the top of it. We need to unscrew that, and that's going to unloosen the bumper from the fender. All right, it's just going to be easier to use a ratchet for this. Now what I'm going to do is see if we even need to take off the passenger side. I'm going to disassemble the driver's side first, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so now we got to get the 2 screws that are secure. We got the one that's secure here, and there are 2 right here. There's one like right there and one right there. They're not screws, they're nuts. Now the funny thing is, it's the exact same way on my Phaeton. Just there's a screw here and 2 here, and they're by the headlight. And you got to pull this back, and you got to get like a super long extension, and you flying like blind. So this is going to probably be a little too long, but yeah, you're basically flying blind. So it's a lot easier than it sounds, but at least on the Phaeton, it's pretty easy. But we'll see how this goes. Sorry, I don't really have a angle for you back here, but this is where they are. And if you use your bare hand and reach through, you'll be able to feel them, but you can't see them though. Okay, I was struggling with this little fat short bit. When I put this long one on there, I got it immediately. Um, okay, so now it's time to pull the bumper forward. See if that works. Very easy. All right. Okay. So all we needed to do was just get this out just a little bit so we can get this bad boy right there. And now that we have that exposed, let's go ahead and take out the headlight when you unscrew this one, this up here, and that one right there. All right, these things aren't torqued down that hard. So when you go back to tighten it up, you don't have to worry about getting the proper torque setting. Just something snug, and then that's it. There are also 10 millimeter sockets. So that's what you need, 10 millimeter socket. All right, so now that we've gotten our headlight loose, what we need to do is, I'm gonna like do this off camera so I don't scratch like I just did, scratch anything up. But there's a little casing back there. You just need to rotate that to the left. And the rest is kind of straightforward. I'm still gonna film it, but I'm gonna take that off right now. And I'm dropping screws. Now we have that open. And what you see now is, let me turn on the light, try to focus here. So now what you see is the bulb, the back of it anyway, the part that connects. So we're gonna, you see lock is to the right, we're gonna unlock it, turn it to the left. I just turned it to the left. It comes right off. And then there is the bulb. There's a little tab right here. You need to, okay, well mine rotate. I have the adaptive headlight, so I'm gonna need to use two hands to hold it in place. But it's just a tab right here. And there's gonna be another one on this side. You just need to push them off, and then the bulb comes right out. And then we'll stick the new bulb in there, put those tabs back up, and then you do the reverse of, you know, the way we took it all apart. Oh, it's so much better when you can actually see what you're doing. There we go. All right. All right, now when it comes to putting this cap back on, anyway, oh, real quick before I get into that. So the bulb goes in a certain kind of way. It's gonna have these little notches on it. Oh, hey, remember that bulb, that old bulb? All right, so they have these cutouts there and then there. So it's gonna fit perfectly inside of the housing. Once you get that in place, then you just easily lift up those little metal tabs. It's hard to show on camera because it's so dark in there, but when you get in there, you'll see what I mean. Now, it's the same thing for this. Oh, I just stepped on something. Same thing for this. Now, these notches all look very similar, but they're not. Some of these are actually wider than the others, and they're these two. These two are wider than these, and there's you'll just see the notches for them in the back of the assembly, and you want to make sure that this stays clean because anything that gets in there can contaminate the new bulb. So I'm gonna go ahead and hurry up and put this on there, but just know that it's two notches right there, boom boom. They go on the bottom, like on the, you'll see what I mean, but they go towards the bottom, and then you twist it on that way. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can edit out what needs to get edited out. Yes, she did. Kind of good that she did it. But that was it. It wasn't a whole, you didn't have to completely drop the bumper, but you do have to loosen up this side. All right, now we just put it all back together. All right, something worth mentioning. There is on the back of the headlight, like a, what would you call this? I'm tired. What is that? I'm asking you. What is this? What is this post? It's a post. Now this post is what, can they see? You got.
No, it's dark. It's black. Dark.
Okay. Well, then you need to stand on the other side. Can you see it? Okay. So this post helps keep this in place. Now you might have your holes up here, come up here lined up, but you'll notice there's going to be a big gap here, and that's because this post is not in place. So you want to line it up. Come around here. It's right there. That circle, that's where it goes into. So you want to make sure you put that in there, and it'll line everything up perfectly. Watch. There you go. Right in there, smooth. Now, if you don't get in there, it's going to be a huge gap, and the light will kind of go down into the fender. All right, well, so here's what happened. I had to pee real bad, and instead of stopping a long time ago to go do that, I just figured I'd keep barreling through this thing, and I ended up getting sloppy and cutting corners. So I forgot to put in the screw that's behind the bumper. The whole reason we had to do all this stuff, I forgot to do it. But you know what? That might work out in my favor because really it was an unnecessary screw. So I just put the other two in and tried to wiggle it. And because that little rod or pole, whatever, goes into that other compartment, you know, it's actually pretty solid. Now my Magnum, I bought this salvage back in 2008. With 16,000 miles on it. It has 159,000 miles on it now. It's been excellent. It has the Hemi in it. I say all that to say, this light right here was the same way. From the accident, this was messed up, and this was only been holding on from 2 screws as well, and it's been perfectly fine. This actually, admittedly, though, used to rock just a teeny bit, but this bad boy is solid. This one didn't have a little thing for an extra rod to go into. So it's secure there, and in the back. It's just not secure in the corner there. Anyway, I should probably test these headlights out before I start celebrating. So let's do that. For you, as soon as I put it in there, I should have tested it. Don't start putting stuff together before you test to make sure the repair is really done. Oh yeah, all right, those things are looking cool blue. You can't really see, but that is lit up and it is blue boy. And you can't really see this one, but this is also very much blue. Looking good. I do need to clean the headlights. That's going to be next, but you know, we need to make sure the headlights work so I can drive this thing at night. It's winter's approaching and it get dark at 5 o'clock here. So I'm just going to go ahead now, and I mean, you don't really need to see the rest. I'm just going to put those little covers back on. So yeah, snap those in place, and now I'm just going to put all the screws back on the bottom, and we're done. So now that I'm all done with the headlights and everything, I mean, this is up to you. If you don't want to have to go through all of that again, it actually isn't that bad once you know what to do. But if you don't want to have to go through all that again, you might want to consider leaving that bolt off. So in the future, we should be able to just take that bolt off and that bolt off and to just slide the headlight out without having to deal with all of that stuff. It's possible that little bracket there could still get in the way. I don't know, but it's pretty secure even with me. Look at this. It doesn't move at all. It won't shake. It's fine. So it's not really needed, and that could actually help us in the future when you need to replace it again. So I'm going to leave it off. It wasn't intentional, but I'm not going back through all that. I'm going to just test it out, and I'll let you guys know in another video in the future whether I experience any rattling or anything as I drive.